There's a woman I cut hair for called Marguerite, and at 71, she still had more hair than most women half her age. She just couldn't see it in the mirror anymore. Same number of strands as her sister, who looked twice as thick. The difference wasn't how much hair she had, it was how fat each strand was, and that is the one thing you can still move after 60. I'm Rosalind Gray. Here's the honest part, and I want you to hold on to it. If you've ever walked out of a salon looking 10 years older, that was never your fault. Nobody ever taught you what to actually ask for. I spent 35 years behind the chair and I watched women guess wrong in both directions every single week. So tonight I'm going to teach you to see it for yourself in your own mirror before anyone picks up the scissors. 5 habits counting down. Number 1 is the one you're doing right now without knowing it. Number 5, the scalp massage. Not the kind you get with a shampoo. I mean 4 minutes a day, dry your own fingertips flat against the skin, moving the scalp itself rather than sliding across it. Press, hold, let go, move an inch. Most women have never once done this on purpose because nobody ever told them the scalp was the part that mattered. We were all raised to fuss over the ends. Here's the hidden truth. You cannot grow new follicles. You were born with every one you'll ever have, and no oil, no pill, no $50 serum adds a single extra. So thicker hair can only ever mean one thing: fatter fibers coming out of the follicles you still own. And the fiber is where the news is good. Do that 4 minutes a day, every day, and over about 6 months, the individual strand gets measurably thicker. Not dramatically. Roughly 8% fatter. That is a small number on paper and a visible one on a head because you're multiplying it across every hair you have. Now, I'll be straight with you about the size of it. That finding came out of a very small group, and it was men. Most of what gets sold to you as proven for women over 60 was never tested on a woman over 60. I'd rather tell you that than pretend. Do this now. Put your fingers on your scalp above your ear and try to slide the skin, not your fingers. If the scalp moves easily under your hand, good. If it feels stuck and tight to the bone, that's the head that has the most to gain. And it's the one I'd start on tonight. The fix and the words. 4 minutes, split across the front, the sides, and the crown. Do it dry in front of the television, not in the shower where you'll rush it. Give it 6 months before you judge it. A hair takes that long to show you what it's doing. That's the one that costs you nothing but time. The next one costs you money every month, and it's the one I want to take away from you. Before I go on, every woman who sat in my chair asked me the same thing at the end. Write it down for me because I'll forget by the time I'm standing in the shop. So I finally did. It's called the Ageless Hair Handbook, every habit in this video and a good deal more. Sorted by what your hair actually is: thin, fine, curly, gray, with the exact sentence to say to your stylist so you don't get talked into the granny cut again. If you're watching this on the television, point your phone camera at the little square code on the screen and it'll open right up. On a phone or a tablet, it's the first link under the video, and if you'd rather just type it yourself, go to rosalindgray.com. That's rosalindgray.com. Now, back to the countdown. Number 4, the hair vitamin. You know the one, the gummy or the capsule with the word biotin across the front in a nice script, $30, and a promise on the back about thickness in 90 days. Half the women I knew had one on the windowsill above the kitchen sink. Here's what's actually in that bottle. Some of them carry biotin at up to 650 times what a body needs in a day, which is a number that ought to make you stop rather than feel reassured. And when all the hair supplements are weighed up together, the measure that matters most, the actual count of hairs on your head, doesn't move enough to be real. It comes out just shy of meaning anything. Unless you're genuinely short of something, a supplement is unlikely to change what's on your head. Then there's the part nobody prints on the label. Large amounts of biotin in your blood can throw off hospital blood tests, not the hair tests, the real ones. Thyroid readings and troponin, which is the number they look at to tell whether you're having a heart attack. That warning has been out since 2017, and I've never once heard a woman say her pharmacist mentioned it. I had a client, Dorothy, who took a hair gummy every morning for 2 years and told me she couldn't tell if it did anything. She was right. 2 years and about $700 for a maybe. Do this now. Go and pick up whatever bottle is in your bathroom and turn it around. Find the biotin line and look at the percentage next to it. If that number runs into the thousands, that's not a stronger vitamin. That's a bottle that could muddy a blood test you might need. The fix and the words. If your hair is genuinely coming out, the useful move isn't the supplement aisle. It's asking your doctor for 2 specific things. Your thyroid, because about 1 woman in 10 over 40 is running low and never knew. And your iron stores, which is a blood test called ferritin. Say it plainly. I'm losing hair. I'd like my thyroid and my ferritin checked. And tell whoever draws your blood that you've been taking biotin, then stop it a few days beforehand. That's the money one. Number 3 is the one you'd never think of as a hair habit at all. Number 3, raw vegetables and fresh herbs 3 times a week. I know how that lands. Every hair article ends with eat better, and none of them tell you what or how often, so it goes in one ear. Let me be specific because a specific version is the only one worth your time. Raw salad leaves, raw carrot, tomatoes, peppers, parsley and basil, and rosemary going into the food fresh rather than out of a jar. 3 times a week or more, not a diet, a habit. The hidden truth is that the people eating that way have roughly half the odds of pattern thinning compared to the people who don't. Half. That's a bigger swing than anything in the vitamin aisle, and it costs you the price of a bag of leaves. And there's a second thing on the plate that matters more after 60 than it ever did before, which is protein. The official number you'll see quoted is set for a body of 40. An older body needs more of it to hold the same ground, around half again as much. Hair is one of the first things a body quietly stops spending on when it's short. Do this now. Think back over the last 3 days and count the times you ate something raw and green. Not cooked, not from a tin. If you can't get to 3, that's your gap, and it's the cheapest one on this list to close. The fix and the words. Add one raw thing to a meal you already eat, leaves next to whatever's on the plate at dinner, or tomato and parsley at lunch. And put a real portion of protein into breakfast, because breakfast is where older women lose it. An egg, some yogurt, whatever you'll actually eat. That one works slowly from the inside. Number 2 is doing damage from the outside, and it's happening in about 15 seconds a day. Number 2, the heat you hold too close and the pull you don't feel. Start with a dryer. Here's the part that surprises everyone, including me. When I first learned it, drying with a dryer isn't automatically worse than letting hair dry on its own. Sitting wet for an hour has its own cost. Water sitting against the hair breaks down what holds the strand together. What actually does the damage is distance. Held about 6 inches out, moving the hair sits at a warm 47 degrees. Bring it in to 2 inches and hold it still, and you're at 95 degrees. Near enough to boiling water, pressed against something that cannot repair itself. That's the heat. Now the pull. Every day for 30 years, the same tight ponytail, the same clip, the same pin twist, and the hairline gives up. Not overnight. So slowly that you only notice when you look at a photograph from 10 years ago. And here is the part I need you to hear properly, because it's the harshest sentence in this video. Caught early, that hair comes back on its own the moment you stop pulling. Left for years. It doesn't. The follicle scars over and nothing brings it back. Not a habit, not a serum, not me. That's the one that still makes me sad. A woman named Ilse sat down in my chair with her hair in the same tight roll she'd worn since she was 30. And the front 2 inches were bare skin. She'd assumed it was age. It wasn't age, it was the roll, and by then it was 10 years too late to undo. Do this now. Stand at the mirror, take whatever's holding your hair, and pull it forward off your face. Look at the line where hair meets forehead right above the temples. Is it soft and fuzzy with fine short hairs? That's live hair and you have Rome. Is it smooth, shiny, bare skin? Stop wearing it up tonight. Not next month. The fix and the words. Dryer stays an arm's length out and keeps moving. On medium, never parked in one spot. And if you take a hair tie out and your scalp aches with relief, it was too tight. That ache is the warning, and it's the one women ignore the longest. Wear it down 2 days out of 3. That's the outside taken care of. Now, number 1. The one I promised you at the start, the one nearly every woman over 60 is doing this week, without ever counting it as a hair habit. Number 1, the scalp you've stopped looking at. Here's the picture. You're not bald anywhere, there's no patch, nothing dramatic, but the part down the middle has widened a little and the hair sheds in the shower, and somewhere in there the scalp itches or flakes now and then, so you switch shampoo, blame the weather, and carry on. That's the habit. Not doing anything wrong. Just never once looking at the skin instead of the hair. I'm going to be straight with you the way I was with every woman in my chair. 2 things are happening up there, and neither one shows itself unless you go looking. The first is the flaking. Dandruff isn't just an itch. The worse the flaking on a scalp, the more hair on that head is sitting in the resting phase instead of growing. Inflamed skin sheds hair quietly month after month, and it reads to you as my hair is just thinner now. Treat the flaking properly with a real medicated shampoo 2 or 3 times a week, and the density on that head climbs. It takes about 6 months before you notice, and something like a year before it settles, which is exactly why nobody sticks with it. They give it 3 weeks and decide it doesn't work. The second is what's normal, because a great many women over 60 carry some real pattern thinning, somewhere between 1/3 and 4 in 10 in their 60s. And I want you to know that so you stop treating it as a personal failure. It is common. It's also not simply too much of the male hormone, whatever you've read. After menopause, those hormones are going down, not up. And anybody who tells you they know exactly why the hair thins is selling you something. Do this now, and this is the test I most want you to run tonight. Stand under a bright light and part your hair straight down the middle with a comb. Look at the width of the skin at the crown. Then move the comb an inch to the side and compare. Then take a hand mirror and look at the back. Photograph it, date it, and put it somewhere you'll find it. That photograph is the only honest measure you have because you cannot see this happening day to day, and 6 months from now, your memory will lie to you and a picture won't. The fix in the words. If the flaking is there, medicated shampoo twice a week for 6 months before you judge it. If the part is widening, the one thing with real proof behind it for women is minoxidil, the over-the-counter one on the scalp, and you must give it a full year before deciding. Understand what you're signing up for. It works like a lasting treatment, not a course. Stop it and the shedding comes back. So before you buy another bottle of anything, do one thing. Stand under a bright light, part your hair down the middle, and photograph your own scalp. Here's the lesson underneath all 5. After 60, you cannot add hair, so every honest thing you can do is about keeping what you have and thickening the fiber it grows. And almost nothing sold to you is aimed at either. In 35 years behind that chair, I watched too many women spend real money on the aisle that couldn't help them while the 4 free minutes a day sat there unused. If this was useful, tap the like. It puts it in front of another woman who's about to spend $30 on a gummy. Subscribe if you want the next one, where I'll go through the 5 cuts that add 10 years to a woman over 60, and the exact words to stop your stylist mid-scissor. And tell me below, what's the one hair product you spent good money on that did absolutely nothing? I read every single one. Number 1 is on your head right now, and you haven't looked at it in years. Go find a bright light. Do it before you go to bed tonight.